Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jackie and today I want to share with you the latest Mrs. Quilty box. Before we get started, I want to give a big thank you to my sponsor, Mrs. Quilty, for supporting this video. They've packed so much goodness into this month's box, and I can't wait to show you. Be sure to check out the description box below for the subscription link and your special discount code. All right, let's see what's in this month's box. Keep calm and quilt on. Here is this month's magazine. This month's box is extra special. It's packed with 12 beautiful fat quarters from the exclusive Fluttering Meadows collection. Just look at these colors and floral designs. They're perfect for springtime projects or adding a fresh touch to your stash. Check these out. Oh, I love the greens. It says spring. I don't know about you guys, but it's been really cold here. Beautiful. Look at that. So pretty. As always, each box does include the Mrs. Quilty's monthly magazine. It is your all-in-one guide with fabric cutting instructions, piecing tips, and full assembly instructions for all of the projects included. And what is the block of the month? It is the double Sawtooth star block, and I will be walking through it step by step later in this video. There are 4 patterns in this magazine, and of course it has Mrs. Quilty's tips for stitch options, speed control, good lighting, and then there's optional but helpful features for the sewing machine. So you have sewing machine tips. There's a gardening quiz. And here is the block that we'll be creating today. But this magazine has the project's flower coaster, and it has the garden half apron, and that will be very handy. It has templates. There's the garden half apron and the garden tote bag. Lots of fun things. And then it ends with the Quilter's Cozy Apple Pie. Yes. And it has a quilting glossary. When life gives you scraps, make a quilt. Isn't that the truth? Lots of fun, and I love the fabric choices. Now let's talk about the free gifts this month. This month's box includes a really cute seam ripper, and we all know how handy that is, right? And I also received some clips. I can never have enough clips. So awesome. Let me get set up to make our quilt block. The first thing I'm going to do is lay all these out so that I can iron them. Quilting is such a gift to the soul, isn't it? It's more than just creating something beautiful. It's a way to unwind, relax, and focus on something meaningful. Taking time for yourself to work on a quilt block like the double Sawtooth star can melt away stress. Plus, finishing a quilt block or any sewing project really boosts your mood and gives you such a sense of pride. The more you learn and grow, the more confident you'll feel in your abilities. I have not been sewing that long, but I just love it, and I do become more confident the more I do. Every project, every stitch is an opportunity to push your creative boundaries and experience personal growth. I'm going to get these ironed, and I'll be right back. All right, let's get into the fun part. I'm going to be using the magazine step-by-step instructions to create the double Sawtooth star block. It gives me where all the fabrics go, and then it gives me some general directions. It tells me that I'm going to need a quarter square triangle, and then right sides together, and then it tells me that all of my seams are going to be a 1/4 inch. Here it tells me what fabric I'm going to need and how many. So I need fabric A is a background fabric. I suggest using the same background fabric as for previous blocks, bright white, creamy white, or cream, which is not provided, so you could just use some muslin. And we need, the fabric requirements is 9 inch by 9 inch, so I need 4 squares that are 4.5 inch by 4.5 inch. I just grabbed a piece of muslin And I'm going to square that up to 9 by 9, and then I'll make 4 squares out of that. All right, I've got 4 squares that are 4.5. The next thing I need is 1 square of fabric B, which is 4.5 by 4.5. Here is fabric B, and if I look at the picture, I'll know which fabrics I need to pull, because fabric B shows this fabric. So I'll put that in my pile. So it says fabric C is the same as fabric A, so that's my muslin. And then I need 1 square that is 5.25 inches by 5.25 inches, cut twice diagonally to make 4 triangles. So I'll get that done and I'll be right back. All right, so I have 4 muslin triangles. This was cut out of 1 square that was 5.25 by 5.25. I just cut it twice diagonally to make 4 triangles. So then onto fabric D, I need 5.25 by 10.5. D are these. So I'll go ahead and cut those. And I really liked this fabric, this one. So it says I need 5.25 by 10.5. So I'll go ahead and do that. Then it says I need to cut this into 2 5.25 by 5.25 squares. And I'm just going on my ruler and I'm looking for the 5.25, and then I line it along the top of the fabric because I know that's square. So I'm going to go 5.25, and then I'll line up the top of my fabric, make that cut. Then I need 8 triangles. So all I did was I just lined this up on a line, and then I put my ruler down on both corners, slice that one. Same thing with this. I just put a point up there and then lined this part of the ruler so that I had a straight line. I know there's probably an easier way to do it. Just like that. And then we're going to slice these in half, just like that. Whatever way you need to do it, just do it. Fabric E here is this one. And it says I need 1 square, 5.25 by 5.25, cut twice diagonally to make 4 triangles. So I'm just going to do... Let's see if this is square. It is. So I'm going to do 5.25 on my ruler, and then come over here and do 5.25. And again, it says cut twice diagonally to make 4 triangles. We're just going to do the same thing. And then we'll line this up here on that line. And then I'll do the same thing here. And we have 4 more triangles. That is a lot of triangles. Then on fabric F in the book, F are these corners. That's going to be this one. And it says that I need to make 4 squares, 3 by 3. And just remember, guys, you can mix and match these. You don't have to do just like the book, but I want to show you that you can do step by step with these. So I'm going to do 4 squares, 3 by 3. So I'll just go the 12 inches all the way up at 3 inches, and then I'll just trim them. And there is 1, 2, 3 inches. Little scissors here. I did forget to change that rotary blade again. Okay, and then we'll just cut off the end, maybe a little more just in case. Then I just need 3 by 3 squares, 4 of them. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I already have a piece for the scrap pile. Next, I need a marking pen. It says, see figure 1. Draw a diagonal line from corner to corner on the wrong side of fabric 4 F squares. So we're going to draw a diagonal on each of these. Number 3. Number 4. Place fabric F square onto the corner of 1 fabric A square, right sides together and edges aligned. So I'm going to take an A, which was one of these, and it says to take F and put it up here like this, but I think it wants me to do this, just like that. Sew along the drawn diagonal line and trim the excess corner fabric to a 1/4 seam allowance. Open the fabric F and press the seam to the corner. This is called a stitch and flip square. All right, we're going to do that and I'll be right back. I just chain stitch these together. And now I'm just going to snip the threads in between. There we go. Take out the pins. And then it says I am going to cut a 1/4 inch away from this stitch line right there. So let's see if I have a 1/4 inch on here. I do. So I'll put it right there. It is a dotted line and that is a 1/4 inch. So we'll go ahead and do that to all 4. We'll keep those. That's 2, 3, and 4. We'll move this ruler. And then it says we're going to open the fabric and press the seam to the corner. Look at that, guys. If I can do this, you can do it too. I can see I'm a little off there, but we're not going to worry about that, right? Maybe if I need to fix my little seam back here. There we go. Same thing with this one. Just press it open. Okay, we've got 4 of those. And if we look at the picture, these go in the corner. So I'm just going to grab my design board here. So I know that these are going up here. And we can put these to the side. And then next it says that we're going to repeat to make 4 identical stitch and flip squares using fabric A and fabric F. Oh, lay out 1 fabric C triangle. That's this one. It was a plain one. 2 fabric D triangles. D are these 2 here, and D like that, and then we need 1 E, and E was this pretty pattern, just like that, to form a 1/4 square triangle unit. The longest edges of each triangle should create the outside edges of the 1/4 square triangle. Sew the top and left triangles together and sew the right and bottom triangles together as shown in figure 5. So this will get sewn together, and then this will get sewn together, and then they'll both get sewn together. And then we're going to make 4 of these. So I'll just lay these out like this. All right, so once again, we're going to sew this one to this one to this one, and then sew them together, and we'll have 4 of these units. I'm going to take these to the sewing machine. I'll be back to show you the results. All right, I'm back from the sewing machine, and I did get to try out the seam ripper, so it worked wonderful. I'm just going to press these open. I can see I'm going to have to do some trimming, but you know what, guys? That's perfectly okay. There's one. All right, let's see how this one turned out. This one's pretty on point. I'm pretty proud of myself for that one. And let's see how this one is. Again, that one's okay. This one a little off. So we're fine. Sew the top. Yep, we did all of that. We pressed the seams. Last, sew the halves together to form a full square, which is what we did. Step 9. Next, trim the squares that we just made to 4.5 by 4.5. See figure 6 to see how the 1/4 square triangle should look like this. Okay, so it just wants me to trim this down to 4.25. No, 4.5. Here are these square units with the triangles all pressed. They are 4.5-ish. They're not exactly, and I think I had that issue the last time, but it's just something I'll have to work on. That's how we learn. So now we can start putting together our quilt block to finish it up. We have our square in the middle, and then this is going to go here. This will go here, here, and here. And it just says complete the block using 4 stitch and flip squares, 4 1/4 square triangle units, and 1 B square. And that was our center square. Diagrams show proper placement, sewing order, and pressing instructions. So first, we're going to sew these together, and then sew this. And then 1/4 inch seam, 1/4 inch seam, 1/4 inch seam, 1/4 inch seam, and then we'll sew all the rows together. The finished block should measure around 12.5 inches by 12.5 inches. So I'm going to go to the sewing machine and do some stitch and flips, and I'll be right back. Are you ready for the reveal? Here it is. I just love it. I did this. So easy. So I would encourage you, if you want to learn how to quilt, that you give this a try. It takes you step by step, and you'll learn all the terms that you need to know. One of the best things about Mrs. Quilty is if you need a break, you can pause your subscription and you can cancel anytime. There's no pressure. Ordering your box, it's simple and secure. Your first box arrives in 2 to 6 days. And if for any reason you're not satisfied, they have an easy returns policy and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Mrs. Quilty really wants you to have a wonderful experience. There you have it. The Mrs. Quilty box is filled with so much inspiration, and the how-to is there as well. Be sure to check out the description box below for the subscription link and a discount code. These boxes make wonderful gifts for that quilter or someone wanting to learn how to quilt. Imagine how exciting it is to open up a box of creativity every month, whether you're quilting for yourself or making heartfelt gifts for others. The Mrs. Quilty box helps you create with love and confidence. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video and watching me make quilt blocks. It really is an enjoyable experience. Very relaxing. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until the next video, God bless you.